Hey everyone! For Tutorial Tuesday, I was going to do a live, but it ended up being a snow day for my children. So I recorded this a couple days ago, and I thought that I would do it as a premiere, because the kids were not going to allow me to do an actual live, I'm sure. So here I'm going to show you how I made that unicorn cane. My husband and I went to Michael's and we wanted to try out this new clay. So for this, I'm using a clay called souffle. And right now I just took a big clump of white and I'm shaping it in the shape of the horse's head. And then we will reduce it. And I did, every time I open a new color, I'm conditioning it, which is just moving it around in my hands, warming it up. This is for the nose. I just took two different colors, pink and white, and I'm making it kind of like a marbly thing, just so his nose had a different color to it. And it's kind of like a three-dimensional head because we're going to reduce it at the end. I'm going to stick the nose on there. I think I didn't like the shape of his head, so I'm trying to fix it. So for those of you who don't know the story behind the unicorn cane, I tried to make this once before this and it turned out totally awful. This time it turned out pretty good, so I decided to record me doing it, just in case. I'm still trying to fix the shape of his head. And then for the nose, I just kind of pressed it on there. And it stays. Here I'm just conditioning. More clay. So I'm making the eyes now. So I took some black, rolled it out in a little snake, and then I'm going to wrap it in the pink for the eyes. Now I'm just rolling it so it stays together. I'm trying to figure out what color I wanted the outside of his eye to be. Oh, fix the camera. It's fun to watch these back. I'm flattening out so I can wrap it around there. Try to make it long enough to where it would fit all the way around. Just rolling it so it stays. Hopefully I get rid of that tail. Yep, I do. Haha. There we go. Oh yeah, I remember this. I made the black too thin so you couldn't tell it was an eye. So here I'm redoing it to make the black thicker, like a thicker snake. Just conditioning some yellow now. And yeah, I went with pink for the outside of the eye, that's right. So now I'm conditioning the pink, it looks like, and then I'm going to wrap the whole thing in the pink. Roll, roll, roll. Yep, that looked a little bit better. I used white for the center. Now making sure it's thick enough. I'm trimming my snake that I wrapped there. And then I'm going to cut his head. Ow! I'm going to put a groove where I'm going to stick the eye that I just made. making a groove. Then I just used a clay tool, a rounded one, but you can use like a pen or something. Shaping the eye a little bit more. And I'm trimming off the extra. And then I pinched the sides a little bit just to make it form like an eye more. There we go. Making sure it's the right size. Then I'm going to make the groove in the top of the head that I cut off. Unicorn just had a little bit of surgery, no big deal. Put it back together in just a second. So you're good as new, Mr. Unicorn. Better than the Unigoat, that's for sure. Just making sure I flatten out the creases there so it doesn't come apart. We don't want his head to randomly fall off again after he goes gallivanting with his friends. Just rolling it to make sure it doesn't fall off. That would sure embarrass this poor unicorn. And I just don't want that kind of life for him, you know? Look, he's got some eyes to spare. Just in case he ever needs a new eye. Gets into a battle with another unicorn or a dragon or something. We were making the nose next. His little nostrils. Do a thick black snake again. I'm going to wrap it in pink. I think I made his nose, yeah, I made his nose too thick, so I trimmed off some of the pink. And then you want this shape to be like a teardrop kind of shape. And the more you mess with the clay, the softer it gets. So if you have it sitting too long, you gotta make sure you have the right thickness, because we're gonna reduce it when we're done with everything. So now I'm making the same kind of groove where I want his nose to go. Some more plastic surgery for our friend here. Maybe he needs a name, like, well, it should be a girl because it's all pink, right? How about Felicity? That'll be this unicorn's name. Felicity. Felicity's just going through some plastic surgery right now. I want to take this black here and make it really thin strip. So I start out thick on my pasta machine, then I go down, make it thinner and thinner. Make sure I have it as wide as I need it to go around the whole head, and cleaning up the edges. I'm just shortening it so it's easier to work with. Then I'm gonna chop her poor mouth. Ow! Ow! My mouth! It'll be alright, Felicity. It'll all be over soon. Now I'm gonna stick the black in her mouth. Tastes like chicken. There we go. Yeah, stick it in there. Make sure it stays. Eat that clay, Felicity. I'm gonna wrap it around her big old head. But not all the way. Just up to like the center of the round part there. And now I have to put some of the black border. Oh, I'm spreading it out to make sure it covers the thickness. Now we're going to do the top, some of the top of her head, make sure it's the right width. Alright, now we're taking it around the top, but not all the way. Just helps her keep the shape of the head when you add the other clay to make it into the cane. You'll see. Making sure it's wide enough and the black goes all the way. I was really determined not to let this one go to crap like the first one. The Unigoat, or whatever it was called before. It was a clever name, I don't remember what it was though. I showed it in my live. And someone named it something and it was funny. And the outside, it was a cheaper kind of clay, so the outside may look like the colors are like blurring together because the dye from the clay. It will not look like that in the center though. You'll see. And the clay got pretty soft, so I'm just making sure it keeps the roundness and the shape that I'm wanting. She'll be alright. She'll live. She might be mad at us now, but she'll thank us later for sure. And now I'm getting a few colors because I'm going to work on her horn. She's a unicorn. So I'm just rolling out a couple different colors. And I'm going to marble them. Pretty. Gotta make sure she looks super fancy just in case she comes across like a boy unicorn. You know, I always have to have her looking her best because you never know. And then I cut up different sections here. And then I'm going to border the sections. Oh, I don't think I liked how thick I did the last one, so I'm doing it again. Now I have my marble like in this little spaghetti. Not spaghetti, a snake. And then I decided, oh, I think it needs some more color. So I'm just adding some more color in. Now I'm going to put them all together. That way it's kind of like a rainbow horn. So I have this brick of my marble, where I marbled all those colors together. And I'm getting me another thin strip of the black. I'm going to wrap the brick that I just made in the black. Then we're going to cut it up into sections. Because the other way was not working. Now I'm wrapping the brick only on the outside there. You want to make sure the ends are still exposed and just wrap the sides in the black. And I'm just reducing it to make it longer. Making sure where I cut it is sticking together. Reduced it. And these you want kind of like a rectangular shape for each section you cut, because then we'll be stacking them to make it into a horn shape. So we're going to cut it into different sections. And this does not have to be perfect. You may want some, bigger than others because you're going to start with the base of the horn. Oh, moving the camera so you can see a little bit. We're going to stack it. And this one I did pinch the black together because I wanted it to be the top. So I pinched the black together and trimming it down. Because you do want them the same width. You don't have to have them the same thickness, but you want them the same width because it has to be the same width as her head. I'm just making sure all the sides are together. Oh good, I fixed my camera. I was hoping I would do that. Embarrassing. So now we want to make it shorter. So I'm kind of like squishing it down now. So it's proportioned to her little petite head. Making sure the black goes all the way to the edges so it outlines her horn. But I do want it to come to a point at the top. And then we're going to line it up where we ended the black on the top of her head. Just kind of press it and make sure you don't lose the shape of her head, because that seemed to happen a lot with this clay. It just got soft really quickly and stayed soft. And when you're sculpting stuff like this, you don't want it to be too soft. And then we're going to do her ears. So I'm making sure the head comes up enough, like curves up enough so I can fit the ears on there. Poor Felicity. This might haunt her dreams for a little bit. I'm shaping her ears with a little bit of white. And this was like a little soft triangle, so it was a triangle, but it didn't have super, what's the right word, sharp points. It was like a rounded triangle. But it has to be thick enough to be the same thickness of her head. I'm just going to press the ears on there. You can see how that black, it's not a clean line anymore. Again, that's just the dye from the clay. But it won't be like that on the inside. Just like it on the outside because that's where I'm handling it the most. And after I put her ears on, we're going to outline the top of her head a little bit more with the black. I'm going to put her neck on first. So the neck comes to a curve at the bottom, but more of like a point to go up the side of her head. So you'll start it like an oval shape kind of, but it comes to more of a point that starts right below the ears you put on and goes around until the curve at the bottom of her head. Then we're going to outline from the ears. And wrap it around some. Come on, Felicity, head cooperate. Oh yeah, my strip broke, that's right. When you make really thin strips like that, it's pretty delicate, especially with this clay because it got so soft. So I just had to put another piece down. And see, I didn't go all the way down because she needs some hair. And now I'm going to do her rainbow hair. This, I just used all sorts of different colors. Chunk of this, chunk of that. We gotta look fly for the boy unicorns. Did I just say fly? I don't even talk like that. I don't know why I said fly. Seemed appropriate. So I'm just going to take all these colors and make them kind of come together. So I'm just rolling out snakes that are relatively the same length and size to make sure there's a taste of each color in there. And every time you use a brick, you have to recondition it. Which again, you can just use by the heat of your hands, rolling it, spinning it. Because when you first open the clay package, it'll be really stiff. I wanted her hair to be super colorful. I don't know what I'm doing here. I think I might have needed a coffee break. Whew, coffee break done. Whew. Now I'm going to combine the colors somehow. So I'm just marbling 3 colors at a time. And I'm going to do the other 3 colors, marble those a little bit. I didn't marble them too much because I wanted them to keep their color the best that they could so you could distinguish between each color. And I'm just going to twist both of those together. Twist, twist, twist. And I have this big glob. And I have this really colorful brick. Look at Felicity's back there. Oh Lord, what are you about to do to me? And I took my roller just to make sure the colors are going to stay together. And I cut it in half, stacked it on top of each other, just to spread out the colors a little bit more. Then I rolled it to make sure there's no cracks. Decided to do it again, spread out the colors even more, and then make it into this rectangle here. Make sure the edges are nice and clean. Then I'm going to wrap it in the black again. And that's we're going to do the same kind of thin strip. So since I'm doing fresh clay, start thicker and then make your way down thinner and thinner and thinner. And I didn't quite get it wide enough, so I'm going to do it again. There we go, now I'm going down in settings. Doing the same kind of thing that we did with the unicorn, or with her horn. I needed just a little bit more. There we go. Now I'm making sure there's no air bubbles in this. Making sure the black goes all the way to the edge. And then I'll trim it up, reducing it, making it longer so I can get more strips of hair. And then we'll do some chopping. Just peeling these sides. And decided my potato peel style was not working for me. So we're going to cut this into strips. No, I'm going to cut the black off the sides. Haha! And now the strips that you cut, you're going to make into different chunks of hair. So I started out with a kind of like a little hair nub and made one slightly longer. And this you can just make however you'd like. I decided to make Felicity like she was from the 70s, the crazy retro hair. And put that one right underneath because you kind of want to make them all connected somehow. And then I put mine to like a curl. I was handling that brick a lot, so it got really soft on me. Oh, I think I dropped it. Clean the Thanos hair off of it. We're good. Okay, then this piece I made a bit longer, and put another piece right underneath. There we go, I can see a little bit better now. So there's just the strips that we cut off of the brick that we made. Oh, my hair! The first cut is the deepest. Oh, and I decided I want that outside one to be a little bit longer to go all the way down to her neck. There you go. I thought that looked better. And then I want it to come up a little bit. I lost some of the black on the outside, so I'm just re-adding some of the black to make sure the outside is covered. And making another little curly hair piece. Did I just throw her? I didn't throw her. She's right there. I would never chuck you across the room, Felicity. That would be crazy. I'm just adding the hair to the top, going around her little ears. The hair was a lot of trial and error. And I had to make the bottoms of them kind of come to the point so they could fit nicely within those grooves. And that's my little tool to make sure that it's going to stay there. Going around the front of her head. Man, I wanted her to have a lot of hair. It's going to take her like hours to wash and condition and brush her hair. She'll be alright. She'll get some coupons for Sally's or something. Kind of looks like Medusa. That's alright. Where am I possibly going to put this one? I wanted the hair to come down more over the horn. Reshaping her head. So now we're going to fill all the gaps with the black, so then we can reduce it and turn it into a cane. So I'm just shoving black anywhere so it kind of makes a round square shape. Filling the gaps. She'll be alright. It'll all be over soon, Felicity. You need to go out for drinks after this. Alright, now that I've filled the gaps, now I'm reducing it, which could be arguably the hardest part about making this cane. Because if you lose the shape of the center, that's where she turns into a unigoat. And again, we do not want that for Felicity. So I'm taking my time, going around each edge, spreading out with my thumbs and just starting from the middle and working my way out, squeezing and squeezing, slightly putting pressure to move it out. And I'm rotating it to do it to each side. And I took my ruler just to make sure it's flattening out and the shape is staying. Now it's in a square. This is where I got super nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Felicity, if you turn into a unigoat. Apologize in advance. Just a wee bit time consuming, and I was just nervous. Look here, I'm stalling. I'm like, oh, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I'm gonna do it though, don't you worry. Eventually. Courage. It's fine, cut it already. Now the ends are gonna look crazy, and that's okay. You don't keep the ends. Any minute now I'm gonna cut into it. Maybe now. Well, I guess I needed to go get a drink first. Some vodka or something. Yep, the ends are cruddy. That's okay. That's just from reducing it. Gaining the courage to cut into this cane. Here I come. Alright, this is it. Ow! Oh, it's not so bad! Hooray! Nailed it! Now I'm cutting off the cruddy ends. And sometimes the cane may look different on the other side, so I was just cutting into strips. They all turned out pretty good! Way better than the unigoat. Not too shabby. And look, now Felicity has a cousin, a brother, she has a sister, and like, now she has a whole family. Oh, Oh, so many felicities. There it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of short. Hope it's as good as a live, but I will do it as a premiere. And I will see you guys again on Sunday for Social Sunday. Whoop whoop! Thanks guys for watching.